Hi guys, Christy here with Just Saying. Just Saying, let's make a Valentine's Day card. This is the card here. Bring it back into the light so you can see it. I am using this designer series paper. I'm going to give you a couple of tricks and hints to make this go a little farther than you would expect. In this designer series paper, Stampin' Up! Has it labeled as From My Heart Specialty Designer Series paper with the colors of Flirty Flamingo, Real Red, and Whisper White. But I am using Blushing Bride as well as Real Red. So this paper, I'm hoping you can catch the glare or the shine that's on the hearts. Yeah, you can. Awesome. It coordinates with two punches. This one here, if you can see it. It's got a ruffled edge on the outside. Maybe you can see this side better. And this other one, which is just a heart, the outline of it. What these designer series paper are designed to do is coordinate with the punches. So here's the first sheet, and there's 12 double-sided. They will punch out the image. It's fit exact. And on these hearts you could do a sentiment stamp on the inside, punch it out, add it to your card, and you've got a perfectly formed heart. So on the back side of this one are some hearts in a check pattern. This is the one that I'm going to be using tonight, and it is also covered in shimmer. You can see the foil happening there on the paper. The other side, some arrows and hearts. Again, polka dots and foil. The glare is on purpose so you see the shimmer on that. The reverse side is hearts. More hearts. And stripes. That one's also hearts, and you can get the shimmer out of the little inside of the little heart, and arrows on this side. This is also a sheet that we're going to be using tonight, and it is, in my estimate, Real Red, Flirty Flamingo, Lovely Lipstick, and Blushing Bride. I think those are the 4 colors in here, and I'm using Blushing Bride as an accent color. Although it might be Melon Mambo and a diagonal stripe on the other side. So going back to this 12 by 12 sheet, you can see that there's some bits of hearts on the sides, but there are full hearts going up and down in this middle section here. So you can either cut out some random shapes and cut around the hearts like I've done here, or you can take some good chunks of the heart and cut them out. So if you do it like this, your fingers are not going to work with getting it into the punch. Doesn't matter how small your fingers are and how long your nails are, it's just not going to work. So what you can do is put a post-it. Any temporary adhesive on a stick is what I'm calling this. You line up the cut out image with the punch. And punch. So now this is recyclable. In the back side, don't forget to take your sticky note off. Now you have a perfectly formed heart, which will be one of our layers in tonight's card. Other way of doing it is just in the long strip. I've done it vertically. It doesn't work as well horizontally. The same thing, as close but not touching the outline. Use the top bit as your handle, line it up top and bottom. When using a punch, you can give it a gentle squeeze and hold it in place. And when you know you've got it perfectly, you just squeeze it together and pop it out. I'll do those later. So that's the paper, the punches. Here's the stamp set. This is Heartfelt. It's got some lovely greetings for Valentine's Day. Being friends is better than eating candy, but let's do that too. So lucky to have a friend like you. This lacy bit of a stamp will coordinate with the fancy one here. I'm calling this one the fancy one. It looks like a cupcake liner because it's got the ridges. And it will stamp as that. The Happy Valentine's Day heart stamp. So the dark image will be the stamp color you're using. An outline of a heart, an arrow, some little background filler. From my heart to yours, this is the one I'm using tonight. A little heart, love you lots. This one here, little heart of hearts. Roses are red and violets are blue. And this one is a photopolymer set. So you can see right through it. You can line up your words exactly as you need to see them. So just as the example, this grouping of hearts that I'd said earlier, you can use to use the bigger punch and cut out. You can also do the same thing with the words. So you could stamp love you lots in there. So lucky to have you as a friend. This one works, we're using it tonight. From my heart to yours, fits there in the white section. Anything that will fit in that little white bit is awesome. Let's put those away. This is the card that I'm making. I'm casing this, and to case something means you're copying and sharing everything. I follow Mary Fish on all channels, I feel. She is at Stampin' Pretty on Instagram. Follow her on YouTube as well, please. She made this card as a note card. I am making it as a full-size card, which is 5.25 by 4.25. I took the idea she had and pretty much I try to follow somebody. It never works right, so this is what I've come up with. I didn't have the coordinating, I think it's 3/8 of a real red ribbon. Instead, I'm using the ruched real red ribbon from Toile Tidings, the Christmas set that I got, and I have some ribbon left over. I'm using, so on a very vanilla thick card base, I'm doing it in a landscape fold on the side. So that's 5.5 by 4.25. And then I've got this layer of designer series paper. And if you do a standard matting, the next layer down from your base card would be 5.25 by 4. But this one is 5 by 3.25. And then real red is following the matting. So it's 4.75 by 3.5. And I've punched out Blushing Bride with the kind of scalloped heart and the heart from the designer series paper. I've just realized I'm missing my Very Vanilla. This Very Vanilla, to go underneath, there it is going to be 4.5. Nope. 4.75 by 3.5. Four and a half by 3.25. Okay, so to get started with this stamping, I'm going to stamp first and then adhere. Oh, the sparkly bits. So with the From My Heart, Heartfelt Sweet, there's a huge amount of product that I didn't think I was going to use them all, including the red ribbon. I figured I could use the older ribbon, but there's also these, I just want to call them gems, but they're not. Let's see. Oh, my eyeballs. Faceted gems. I was halfway right. So they're not all flat sequins. They're not flat. They're faceted. So they're kind of a dome shape with some angles giving off some glitter and shine. And there's about 3 different sizes I'm finding in 3 different colors. So you can tell by the back. That one is a red back and a red top and pink and pink and white and white. But there's a whole bunch of little gems over here on the side. Let's get those back in there so I don't lose them. The static is killing me. I am not pausing the video if you can hear the ambulance and sirens. We're having a winter storm and people in the city forget how to drive every winter. So that's going to happen a few times. This is a Stampin' Pierce mat. I have 2. One I use for piercing. I used it for heat setting. That's not a good idea. This one's all pierced. This one that I'm using tonight is not pierced. It is my Stampin' mat. I find it works better when using a photopolymer stamp set to get a nice kind of cushion on the image. Just ink that up, and up in the top right corner, kind of straight down, straight up. I like to hold it for a second, make sure I got all the color. There we go. That's it. That's the stamping done. This card is a lot of assembly, and I've tried to make some of the cut images, the cut cardstock and designer series paper work so that you can get at least 4 cards out of the 12 by 12 and at least 4 cards out of the real red, as well as probably 6, maybe only 4, but 4 cards out of designer series paper, cardstock, and cardstock. You need 2 bases, 2 full sheets, and you've got 4 cards for Valentine's Day. It's not one that you would need a lot of. So I'm going to get going here and just adhering with Snail the designer series paper. And remembering that I've got this as a right-handed card and that my border is a little bit bigger than my normal. Good. And adhering the Whisper White. Have I called this Very Vanilla earlier? It's Whisper White. To the real red. Okay. And then I am going to wrap ribbon and do an attempt at the knot. This is a fake ribbon. I will show you what I mean here in just a sec. So I want to try to figure out where the ribbon's going to go. Put down a good layer of adhesive. And try to cut your ribbons on an angle. It'll help not fraying. I try, it doesn't always work. And across and stick it. And then on an angle. Done. Okay. Worry about the rest of it later. Now, using dimensionals, I'm going to put a ton of this on the back. Definitely needs dimensionals with the thicker ribbon. If you just did Snail, it would have a bend in this area. So the dimensionals help fill up that space. Should be good. Another little trick I do is poke with my big thumbnail into the center-ish area of the dimensional, and it makes the corners curl so that they pop off a little easier as I say that. And I don't always do the dimensionals that are in the middle. They're there literally for dimension, not to be an adhesion to the card. They're just there for the support of the background. Get these two here. Good. Okay, making sure it's the right way up. And now with this little pattern, what I noticed making the first card is that you lose a lot of it with this size of cardstock on it. And on the bottom here, you just see the tips of the one and then the tops of the other. That's okay, because you can see the hearts and the rest of it. Now, I keep my ribbon on the spool. I learned that from another YouTuber, Dina Rico. She is awesome. She is, I don't know if she's still got the video posted, if it's clear to find, instructions on how to tie a knot or a bow. But this is a fake one, so I'm just putting it underneath. I'm gonna try this. Put it underneath, and then up and over and pull it through. Done. I'm just gonna trim up the now frayed edge again. And the side that's still attached to the roll, I'm gonna cut that just where I want it to be. Good. That was a pretty quick, easy. Nobody knows that it's not two pieces or one piece wrapped all the way around and tied in a knot. It doesn't usually come apart. If you're not sure, you can put a mini glue dot underneath the bow and hold it in place. It's not too bad. I was considering this. It's not too bad for mailing. It's fairly flat. Should be fine. And just a little bit of snail here on the back side of this heart, and then line up your heart with the ruffles. I'm going to do something different. This one I tucked it kind of underneath the bow, but I'm going to see if I can, see my bows are a bit too high because my ribbon is too thick for what Mary had done. So make it your own. Take the idea and run with it. On my first card I did a few dimensionals on the back. By few I mean probably a lot. But I would rather have too many dimensionals than not enough and have some sag and the card doesn't look good. So again, poke them with my thumbnail and peel them off. And this card is nearly done. It was a really quick card. I'm going to try to design some 3x3 cards for my daughter to give to her class. Although I'm not sure that I'm not done yet. I'm not sure that she'll want too many. She's a girl in grade 6, so I forgot the glitter, the faceted gems. So, Tombow multi-purpose adhesive, and just seriously a little dab. This is my silicone mat, and it is absolutely awesome for glue. I just get it started on the mat, then I know that I don't have a big glob coming out. I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool and try to get these down. 1, 2. So the multi-purpose glue, Tombow glue, takes a little bit of time to actually dry, but the Take a Pick tool won't let go of it. So I'm kind of doing both here. pick it up, and then I have to hold it down just long enough that it sticks. And I'll try this one here. Pick up, put down. Okay, that is that card done. So like I said, I'm going to try to do Valentine's Day cards for my daughter using the designer series paper and using the heart punches on a 3x3 note card size so that I can get the most out of the designer series paper and some of this cardstock. I hope you enjoyed tonight's card. I'm going to be posting this to Facebook, my Just Saying Facebook page. Instagram, there'll be a link. I have a blog post which is Just Saying with cards.blogger. It's new. This will be the second post, but I'm going to hope to have a link in the YouTube video to all of the social media, or at least where you can find my handles. Hope you liked this card, and I'll have another video for you next Friday night. Oh, sorry, this is Monday. Monday nights are my videos. Friday, watch on the social media for what I'm being inspired to do while I make it over the weekend. Post the video on Monday evening. Have a good week.